children. How are you all? Oh, all of you are fine. Children, please see the picture I'm showing here. Can you see the baby of the cow? This is calf. That is the baby of the chicken, chick. The baby of the dog is puppy. The baby of the horse is foal. The baby of the pig is piglet. Also, as you can see, the baby of the duck is duckling. The baby of the cat is kitten. So children, you can see the babies of animals here. But have you ever thought, how do these babies come? Let me tell you. These babies come by the process of reproduction. Yes, children. So in today's topic of discussion today's chapter is chapter number 8, Reproduction in Animals of your science book. This is the video for the students of class 4. In this chapter, we will be learning about what do you mean by the process of reproduction. What are egg-laying animals and what are the animals that give birth to babies? Let us proceed to the chapter. Before that, I would suggest please take your pencil along with you so that you could underline the important sentences or hard words while going through the chapter. See, all living things have the ability to produce more of their own kind. More of their own kind means, as you can see here in the picture, the cat is giving birth to kitten, which is looking like a cat, just a baby cat. The dog is giving birth to puppy, which is looking like a baby dog, right? So, living things produce more of their own kinds, and this is the ability to the living things only. This is one of the characteristics of living things, to produce more of their own kinds. You can also say to increase their family members. Yes, therefore the process by which living things produce young ones of their own kind is called reproduction. Now you got it correct. The babies of animals come through the process of reproduction. Yes. Reproduction is important for the continuity of life on the earth. If there will be no reproduction, means there will be no continuity of life. The cat will remain a single member of the family. There will be no more family members and the continuation of life will come to an end. See here children, there is an activity. You need to match the young ones of the animals by drawing lines. I hope all of you can do this by your own. Let us proceed. There are two different ways by which animals reproduce. Let us see what are they. Some animals reproduce by laying eggs. Yes, some animals like snake, tortoise, they reproduce. Their babies come out of the eggs. So some animals reproduce by laying eggs. Some animals reproduce by giving birth to their young ones, and some animals directly give birth to the babies. As you know that cats give birth to kitten, cow give birth to calf. They do not lay eggs. Their babies come out directly. Now let us read about the egg-laying animals. Animals like birds, frogs, ants, butterflies, snakes, lizards, crocodiles, mosquitoes, and snakes and houseflies. Houseflies are insect though, but they are counted here as animals. Reproduce by laying eggs. Look at the picture here. You can see that snake, turtle, chicken or hen, duck, lizard, crocodile, owl and platypus. Platypus is a sea animal. The baby develops inside the egg. You must have seen an egg cracking and the chick coming out of the egg. The baby of these animals, the egg-laying animals, develop inside the egg. It needs warm condition for development, and for the development of baby inside the egg, the environment, the conditions should be warm. So the parent animals either keep eggs in a warm place where they could get the sun's heat directly, or they sit on the eggs to keep them warm. You must have seen the hens sitting on their eggs, right? They sit on the eggs to keep the eggs warm. When the eggs matures, the baby hatches out. Hatches out means the outer layer, the outer shell of the egg cracks and the baby chick comes out. Birds. All birds reproduce by laying eggs. All birds, whatever the name you can imagine and you can tell, all birds reproduce by laying eggs. They produce babies by laying eggs. Many birds build nests to lay eggs. You must have seen the sparrows, the parrot, the eagle, vulture. These all birds make nests so that they could lay eggs in their nest, and the babies will take rest in the nest unless and until they become able to fly themselves. They sit on the eggs to keep them warm. As I said, for the development of baby inside the egg, it is necessary the condition to be warm. So the parent bird sit on the eggs to keep the egg warm. The habit of animals sitting on their eggs in order to keep them warm is called incubation. Yes, this process, this habit of sitting on the egg so that to provide sufficient warmth to the egg for the development of the baby, which is very much essential, which is very much required for the development of the baby. This habit is called incubation. You must have seen your parents buying eggs from the market, right? Do babies or chicks comes out of that egg? No, they don't, because they do not get sufficient warmth. So, parent bird sit on the eggs to provide sufficient warm condition, which is essentially required for the development of the babies inside the eggs. And this habit is called incubation. This habit is called incubation. Let us now proceed to see the internal structure of an egg. An egg has a thin, hard outer shell called egg cell. You must have broken the egg cell while preparing omelette. You must have seen your parents preparing the omelette, right? Egg cell protects the baby inside. Yes, it is the outer layer of the cell which protects the baby inside of the cell. The white jelly-like substance is called albumin. Let me show you another picture. As you can see here, the white jelly-like substance, this part is called albumin, and this yellow part is called yolk. The white jelly-like substance is called albumin, and this yellow part is called yolk. Albumin is rich in proteins, means that white jelly-like part is rich in proteins. Within the albumin is a yellow part called the yolk, as I have shown you in the picture. The yolk is rich in fats, vitamins and minerals. The yolk contains food for the embryo. Embryo means developing baby, which is not completely developed yet. Means developing, it is still in the stages of development. So embryo means developing babies. This is the internal structure. This is the outer layer of the cell, which is known as eggshell. The jelly-like part is called albumen and the yellow colored part is called yolk. Let me show you the picture again. See, this jelly-like part is called albumen and the thick yellow part in the center is called yolk. And this yolk provides food to the developing baby. During incubation, the embryo inside the egg goes through different stages of development. As I have said earlier, the babies of the egg-laying animals develop inside the egg. They do not develop inside the womb or the stomach of their parents, of their mother, but they develop inside the egg. So during the period of incubation is the period during which the parent birds sit on the egg in order to provide warmth to the egg, which is required for development of the baby. The embryo inside the egg goes through different stages of development. After some days, the egg breaks and a chick comes out. The chick is not able to fly. The parent birds take care of it. The egg cracks, and this cracking and coming out of the baby chick or the baby hen is called hatching. You must have seen the baby or the chick which is not able to fly or take care of itself. So the mother take care of it and she also feeds the chick with food and water. It grows into an adult and with due course of time it grows into an adult. The stages of development from an embryo to a mature adult is called the life cycle of an animal. Stages, as you can see, the hen has laid the egg and inside the egg the baby was developing. How? The baby was developing because of the warmth provided by the mother. And after the incubation period, which is of 21 days in case of hens, after 21 days of continuous warmth, the parent bird gets off the egg only when she is very hungry or thirsty. Otherwise, she continuously sits on the egg to provide the egg warmth. And after the period of incubation, the babies comes out of the egg. These babies slowly grow into bigger size and finally they become the adult. As you can see, this is a continuous cycle. Then the adult will again lay egg. Again there will be babies. So this is a continuous cycle, and this cycle of development from an embryo to a mature adult is called life cycle of an animal. Let me show you a quick video.
Of a chicken. The story of Penny. Penny is a small brown hen that... Chicken. The story of Penny. Penny is the life cycle of a chicken. The story of Penny. Penny is a small brown hen that lives on a farm. One day, she laid an egg. She knew that she had to keep the egg warm in order for it to hatch, so she sat on the egg. Penny only got up from her nest to get a quick drink and a bite to eat. She waited a week, that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 days. She waited 2 weeks, but still the egg hadn't hatched, so she sat and sat and sat some more. It was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21 days later that Penny heard a soft chirping sound. Was her baby chick finally coming? She had waited 21 days for this. Slowly, the chick made a tiny crack in the egg grow bigger. It grew and grew. She could see the chick's head, and then she could see the body, and then the chick popped right out of the shell. At first, the chick was a wet ball of fluff, but once it had dried off, the chick was fuzzy and yellow. Penny named her chick Henrietta. Henrietta was very tired from the breaking out of her shell. Every day, Henrietta grew. Her fuzzy, soft body started to grow real feathers. She started to look just like her mother, Penny. As the year went on, Henrietta continued to grow. Then one day, she laid an egg. She knew that in order to hatch the egg, she must keep it warm. Henrietta had started the cycle all over.
So through this soft videos, and you must have seen that what is the life cycle of an hen. Now let us proceed to the insects. All insects like butterflies, earthworms, houseflies, ants, mosquitoes, all these lay eggs. They lay eggs in order to produce more of their own kind. A butterfly lay eggs on the leaves. Each egg hatches into a caterpillar, as you can see here in the picture. The butterfly lays eggs on the leaves and each of the egg hatches. Hatches means the egg cracks and from inside the egg comes out the caterpillar. This is also known as larva. This larva undergoes several changes before becoming an adult. This caterpillar, all of you must have seen these caterpillars during rainy season, right? And these caterpillars eat and eat and eat and eat unless they become fat and plump. After some days, the caterpillar becomes inactive and covered itself. As you can see here, you must have seen this brown colored coating under the leaves, or sometimes you can say yellow colored or off-white colored coating under the leaves. This is the pupa stage, and the outer protective covering of this pupa is called cocoon. This is called cocoon. And inside the cocoon, the pupa sets its skin many times inside the skin. Inside the cocoon, as I have said, the baby was developing inside the egg. Similarly, because when there was egg, when you break an egg, you will see there is white part and there is yellow part. But through various stages of development, the body of the baby, the legs, the wings, the eyes, the beak of the baby develops. And similarly, what happens inside the cocoon? The pupa sheds its skin many times, which give rise to a beautiful butterfly. And after the period, after a few days, what happens? Just like the egg hatches, this pupa cracks down and comes out the beautiful butterfly. Again, this butterfly lays eggs on the leaves. Again, from the eggs comes out of the larva or the caterpillar. Again, this larva changes into pupa. Again, the pupa changes into adult butterfly. So you can see there is a cycle which continues, and you can see the continuation of new generation is going on. This is the significance of reproduction. And when you will see the picture, it is quite clear that the eggs are changing into caterpillar or larva. The caterpillar or larva is changing into pupa, and the pupa is changing into the beautiful butterfly. So you can see there is a drastic changes. There is extreme changes in the body structure and behavior. And all these changes from young form to adult form, as from egg to the beautiful adult butterfly, all these changes are known as metamorphosis. This changes, the process is called metamorphosis. The process of changes from a young form to an adult form is called metamorphosis. So you can say that there are different animals or different insects also which show metamorphosis during their life cycle. Another example is giving here the life cycle of frog. As you can see, the adult frog has laid eggs. This cluster, they lay eggs in hundreds and hundreds of number. So this group of eggs, the cluster of egg is called spawn. From the eggs comes out a fish-like structure. As you can see here, this is the fish-like structure. This is known as tadpole. And you can see it has fins, it has a tail. But have you ever seen a tail of the frog? No. In the changes of during its life cycle, the tail disappears. And finally, this tadpole undergoes metamorphosis, undergoes several development of changes, and finally it becomes adult. See, you can see the difference. The tadpole is looking like a fish. Now this is looking like more of the frog, but it has a tail. The tadpole loses its tails and then it becomes the adult. All this process where you can see drastic changes in the body structure and behavior, this is called metamorphosis. Insects like grasshopper and cockroach have 3 stages in their life cycle. As you have studied that there are 4 stages in the life cycle of butterfly, but there is only 3 stages of changes in the case of grasshopper or cockroach. The baby cockroach looks like an adult cockroach, but it is smaller in size and does not have wings. You must have seen this baby cockroach during the cleaning of your houses. They are roaming inside the kitchen, right? But they are smaller in size and they do not have wings and they cannot fly. After molting several times, molting means undergo several changes, it becomes an adult. See, molting is the process of shedding skin, means losing the outer covering of the body. So, the life cycle of butterfly, life cycle of frog, and this is, here I have explained the life cycle of cockroach. Let us read about the life cycle of frog. The life cycle of a frog also show metamorphosis, as I have explained earlier. A frog lays hundreds of eggs in a lake or pond in clusters. The group of eggs is called spawns. And each egg hatches again, cracks into a tadpole. This is the tadpole. As you can see, it is looking like a fish. It lives in water and breathes through gills. Yes, fishes have the gills, so as the tadpoles. Tadpoles also have the gills. The tadpole feeds and grows into a baby frog, which finally becomes an adult frog. See, as you can see, this is looking like a fish. Gradually, it is looking like a frog. So, there is changes. And all these changes is called metamorphosis. Next, fishes. A fish lay thousands of eggs at a time in water. Baby fish hatch out of the eggs, but only a few hundred baby fish grow into adult fish. Why? Because many baby fishes are eaten by the bigger fishes. Sometimes the baby fishes are eaten by their own parents. Next are the reptiles. Reptiles are the animals which crawls, which do not walk like we stand and walk. Reptiles are the animals which crawl. So reptiles like lizard, turtles, snakes and crocodiles have hard-shelled eggs on the They lay hard-shelled eggs on the ground. They do not take care of their eggs as the birds do. They just lay their eggs on the ground, but at a place where the eggs could get sufficient amount of sun's heat. They do not sit. You know, these animals are too heavy. When they will sit on the egg will break, right? So they do not sit on their eggs. They lay the eggs on the ground at a place where these eggs could get sufficient amount of sunlight. Turtles and crocodiles lay eggs in shallow pits. Pits means small holes near the river banks. Many eggs are eaten up by other animals. Only few eggs get warmth from the heat of the sun and hatch. Now let us proceed to read about the animals which give directly birth to their babies. They do not lay eggs. Animals like cow, cat, dog, elephant, giraffe, deer, zebra, hippopotamus and kangaroo, lion, tiger, all these animals, they directly give birth to babies. They do not lay eggs. The babies feed on the mother's milk. Such animals are called mammals. You must have seen the cat feeding its kitten. You must have seen the dog, mother dog feeding its puppies. right? So all these animals, the babies of these animals feed on the milk of their mother. Such animals are called mammals. Means the animals which give birth to their babies and feed their babies with their own milk. The mother feed their babies with their own milk are called mammals. Whales, dolphins and seals are sea mammals as they are found in the seas. Human beings are also mammals. Yes. Most of the mammals have hair on their bodies. You must have seen the dogs, the cats, they have hair on their bodies, right? Whales and dolphins do not have hair on their bodies. Mammals breathe through lungs. Yes, mammals have lungs to breathe and fishes have gills to breathe. But whales and dolphins are sea mammals. You must have seen whales and dolphins coming out to the surface of the water. They come out in order to take oxygen because they are breathing through lungs. They do not have gills and they cannot absorb the oxygen. They cannot breathe in the oxygen dissolved in water. That's why they regularly come to the surface of water. Look here in the picture. You must be seeing the baby of the kangaroo. When a baby kangaroo, Joey, what is the name of the baby kangaroo is? Joey, is born, it is smaller than your big toe. It is even smaller than your big toe. Tiny Joey crawls to the mother's pouch and develops there. You must have seen pictures of kangaroo in your television. The baby develops inside the mother's body for several weeks. In the mammals, you must have heard that cows give birth to babies after 9 months. So as the human beings. In human beings, the baby comes out of the mother's stomach after 9 months. So the baby develops inside the mother's body for several weeks. When the baby is born, the mother feeds it with her own milk and looks after it. This is for information. This is a spiny anteater. It is a kind of animal which eats ant. And this is the platypus. Duck-billed platypus means because its beak is looking like the beak of the duck. That is why it is named as duck-billed platypus. So spiny anteater and duck-billed platypus are the mammals. But they feed their babies with their own milk. But they do not give birth to babies. They lay eggs. Mothers. The mammal mother cleans them and keeps them warm. Mammals also protect their babies from their enemies. They also hunt for the food. You must have seen the lion or the tiger bringing food for their babies, right? As you can see here in the picture, the parents are taking care of their baby. So in this chapter, we have read about all living things have the ability to produce more of their own kind. Animals like birds, butterflies and frogs reproduce by laying eggs, whereas deer, elephants, whales reproduce by giving birth to their babies directly. An egg has an egg cell, albumin, yolk and an embryo. Embryo means the developing baby. The stages of development from an embryo to an adult is called the life cycle. You must have seen or you must have understood while the explanation of the text. The butterfly lays eggs, becomes larva, larva becomes pupa, pupa again becomes adult. In case of hen, the hen lays eggs, the eggs hatch out into baby, the baby becomes the bigger hen and finally it grows into mature hen. So all these changes in the entire life is called life cycle. Mammals give birth to fully developed young ones. As I have explained, the babies of the birds or the insects develop inside the egg, but in case of mammals, the babies develop inside the stomach or the parent's mother's body. Hope you have understood the chapter well. Thank you, children.